I have to read this exactly how it stands from Bill C-63 in Canada. And for those of you living in America or maybe another Western country, this is why this is incredibly important, because you are next. You are on the chopping block. Canada, if you might know or not, is really a petri dish for the British Crown at the end of the day. Canada is a proving ground for a lot of the initiatives, we'll say, coming out of the EU, perpetrated by the Crown, and hundreds of years of governmental organizations run amok, all stemming from the British Crown. And you might not believe that. That might not jive at all with your picture of the world. And that's fine. That's okay. From all my studies, from the many people I've talked to and the books I've read over the last 15, 20 years, everything comes back to that and the apparatus that has been built up around that structure. And this is why this bill is so incredibly important, because it's coming here. This bill that is going to continue shaping everything we do here. I am sharing BJ Dichter's tweet that he tagged me in, so I do a political Bitcoin hour with. Will be in Bitcoin trading cards at some point here in the near future. He was sharing this bill about people, and we're going to go through this briefly, but we're going to go through. We're not going to take too long, but I just want to go through this and see what kind of governments you are dealing with, the people in government. And this is why it's so important to elect the right people locally, the biggest thing, and then obviously federal, national, but locally, having good people in power, having people in power, because this is the world we are living in. This is where we are headed. This is what is happening when good people don't stand up and tell evil to sit down. Direct from Bill C-63, potential lifetime 25-year imprisonment, lifetime imprisonment in Canada, 25 years, for online hate crimes, aka speech, just free speech. So let's go through this really briefly. Everyone, a hate crime, and this is what a hate crime is, according to them: offense motivated by hatred. Everyone who commits an offense under this act or any other act of parliament, if the commission of the offense is motivated by hatred based on race, national or ethnic origin, language, color, sex, religion, age, mental or physical disability, sexual orientation, or gender identity or expression, is guilty of an indictable offense and liable to imprisonment for life. That's what we're dealing with. This is the clown world that we're dealing with right now. And again, you might ask, Brandon, why is this important to me? Because this is what's coming for you in the West. You're in any Western country, this is what's coming for you. The craziest part is that the person, the accuser, doesn't even have to acknowledge who they are. And I actually want to share the rest of this as well, so you can see the entire thing. But they don't even have to tell you who is doing this against you. And it's really a thought crime. So someone thinks that you are doing something that offends them, you can be charged for this. This is the thought crime police, the Minority Report, a pre-crime, the moral relativism. We are going down not a slippery slope. This is an all-out. You are going downhill on the Millennium Force at Cedar Point. If you've ever been there, basically straight down. You're going on the roller coaster at 93 miles an hour, straight down. Maybe top thrill dragster. You are going straight down 420 feet in the air, and you are going straight down at the earth, going 100 miles an hour. This is where we are as a society. I don't know where the average person thinks that this ends up. I think that's the moral of the story. Where do you think this ends up? Where do you think that this goes? Again, I think the system collapses. I would love to get your thoughts on this, but I think the system truly collapses when good people stand up and speak truth and disinfect the darkness with the light. But it stops when people start using the system against itself. When you start having, why don't I go and become an NCAA swimmer and just go to nationals this year? I could do that. Why not? Who's going to stop me? Are you going to tell me that I don't identify as that person, as a 21-year-old woman who's a junior at LSU? Are you going to tell me that? Can I go be on Livy Dunn's team at LSU gymnastics? Are you going to tell me that I can't do that? Really? Oh, interesting. Well, let's have that fight. Let's do that, because I think that's how the system really will collapse. We know that the progressive Marxist side eats itself. They eat their own. They take out their own. This has been proven throughout history as well. The John Wilkes Booth, the Lee Harvey Oswalds, all these people, they take themselves out. This has been done over and over and over again. But I do think that the side that's on truth or trying to find truth will get fed up enough and will say no more. And we are going to fight fire with fire, and we will do whatever it takes. That's where this ends. It doesn't end in some civil war. This is not what's going to happen. Because again, the side that has truth has all the protection, has all of the armaments, has everything. The side that is for wokeness and for feelings over logic, well, that side doesn't have any of those things. So there's not going to be a war. It's not going to be the country, if anything, it'd be the countries versus the city, the urban versus rural. That's going to last a day. So where does this fight end? Where does this go? Again, we collapse under our own weight, in my opinion. The debt is what, someone just said $40 trillion. We'll hit $40 trillion by the end of this year. I just said a year or so ago, or a year or two ago on this platform, I had many people that said, that's crazy. I said the dollar will lose 99% of its value again. From right now, it'll lose 99% more of its value between now and the next 20 years, and maybe the next decade or so. And I said that the government debt, though, on the balance sheet that we see, will hit $100 trillion. And people, you're like, oh, that can't happen. There's no way. Well, number one, the dollar has already lost 99% of its purchasing power since 1913, since that happened. So we now have this process where this is going to continue happening. It's going to speed up. The debt is exponentially speeding up, and humans, as Chris Martenson said, have a very hard time experiencing and understanding exponentiality. We're in that phase. Debt is going to astronomically climb. Handouts are going to astronomically climb. We will crush ourselves under our debt. So the question is, what system are you going to give yourself? What system are you going to build on the side? The life raft, what life raft are you building off of this sinking debt-based legacy monetary Titanic? The craziness you see all around you in the world is only because of a fiat debt-based legacy monetary system, the sinking Titanic, slipping slowly under the waves. Most people can't see it. It's too slow for them, so they can't see it. They're not paying attention. That's what's going to happen, in my opinion. All my study for 20 years, experiencing being in business, being an investor, building businesses, talking to people, being in the Bitcoin world, seeing the gold and silver world, seeing the political world. I've seen all these things. I don't know everything, but I've seen these things from different perspectives. I've read 1,000 history books. What other way? Please tell me what I am missing, please. This only goes one way, and it goes to the Roman Empire, the Spanish Empire, the English Empire, all the empires that have collapsed before, as we continue doing the same thing, printing and debasing our citizens, their wealth, through making the money a currency, leaving it with no value, and the society collapses. This is where we are. All of the heartache, all of the homeless on the side of the street, the broken marriages, the increase in admitted hospital administrators, and the decrease in people actually building things with their hands. Everything you see is a remnant of the legacy system, the legacy fiat debt-based monetary system that is based on inflation, John Maynard Keynes, and modern monetary theorists, and the Bitcoin world, a world based on pure, sound, hard money and math and physics and science. Well, that world aligns all incentives based on deflation, neutral money based in capturing deflation. So it distributes wealth and a higher standard of living and lower cost back to the people. And the people that, oh, deflation can't work. Deflation, we've never had Bitcoin. Wildcat banking, you couldn't, pay with paper currencies and gold and what was happening back then. You couldn't communicate prices instantaneously across the world when everyone had their own currency. So yeah, of course, it didn't work then, or owned their own money. Now it's different. Now we can communicate at the speed of light, and we can transact at the speed of light, final settlement. Times are a little different. We now have this. Please let me know your thoughts on this. Please share this out. The algorithm hates truth. I don't know if this video will get out, to be quite honest. Question everything boldness, even the existence of God himself. Trust but verify what I'm saying. Please do your homework. Please trust what I'm saying. Please let me know what you have a problem with. Please let me know your thoughts here. And please, this is not financial advice. It's freedom advice. Look forward to seeing you on the next one.